Hi everyone. Today I would like you to learn some about faith through the lives of some prophets. Prophet Heber, or you may hear him as Prophet Hud or Prophet Eber or Ever, and also through Prophet Abraham and through Prophet Ismail, or you might be hearing him as Ishmael, and Prophet Muhammad, and lastly, Mehdi Messiah. I would like you to learn some about how your faith affects the language you are using or languages you are speaking, and also how your own language affects your faith. Let's start with Prophet Heber or Hud. We call him in our culture, in Arabic and Turkish cultures, as Hud. You might be hearing him as Heber or Eber or Ever. He is one of the descendants of Arpakshats, one of the grandsons of Prophet Noah. We mostly know the race of Arpakshat today as Arabians, Arapakshats or Arabakshats. The language that Prophet Heber used was a little different from Arapakshats because he appears in another society as a prophet, apart from the group, speaking the language of Arapakshats. In later ages, we start hearing the language as the language of Heber, Heberev, or Hebrew or Hebrew, which shapes the previous holy books. And also, we hear it as the race of Prophet Abraham. The faith and so the personality of Prophet Heber makes the language he speaks very popular. Later, this language in which Prophet Abraham was born affects the faith and the personality of Abraham, and he becomes the best of all in faith. The societies around Abraham call him as Hebrew because of the language and the culture he is known. He develops his faith and his personality through the language he speaks. So, this makes his language and culture popular. That's why we start hearing the race of Abraham as Hebrews or Hebrews, speaking the language of Heber, spreading the language, the faith, and the gospels of Heber, Ever, or Eber. However, Ishmael, the other son of Abraham, had to change his father language Hebrew as he was forced by his father Abraham to live in another society with his mother Hajar. The society was speaking Arabic. Abraham tells his son Ismail teach his gospels through Arabic. So, the other race of Abraham, the race of Isaac or Isaac, was able to keep and sublime Hebrew. Yes, years later, Ismail meets his own brothers and sisters from the race of Arapakshat again. So, he starts learning Arabic and starts affecting the faith of Arabs by using the culture and gospels he learned from his father Abraham. The Arabian society loves him, respects him, and makes him get married to the daughter of the leader. So with the help of Ismail, the Arabic language starts developing in faith. Today, we call these as Sufism or Islam philosophy. The same happens in my language, Turkish. Before meeting Islam, Turkish culture was not developed enough in Sufism. But after learning about Islam, it affects the usage of Turkish, and it makes Turkish culture easy to perceive the mind of Allah, the mind of Islam. For example, I myself developed my faith through the usage in Turkish, although the rise of my faith was speaking Arabic before. I accept Arabic is the best for Islam, but the second language, I think the second language must be Turkish, as it pursues and explains the mind of Islam better than any other languages. It must be because Turkish society met and accepted Islam, and this provided the language to be the second language in terms of pursuing and explaining the Islam. Language shapes your personality. So this means you are shaped by the language or languages you use. When it is about Islam, I was mostly shaped by Turkish and later Arabic, and maybe later by English, when it was talking about Sufism or anything related with Islam, which made me easy to pursue the mind of the God. I mean the mind of Al-Ilah, the mind of Allah. The language or languages that prophets use becomes important because you convince your people or your target groups through these languages, through the power that loaded on these languages before you start using them. I have always thought that a secret power must have been loaded in Turkish before I was born, as they got many inspirations in speech. And this must be because of Islam believers that affected the language and the way of speech of the society. So, Prophet Ishmael tries everything to teach and develop the one God belief in his society. And from this group, from this language, from Arabic, and also from the race of Ismail, Muhammad, who would introduce the best shape of Islam, appears. The name of the God turns into Al-Ilah, Allah, the most modest version of all names used for the God. And then the most modest phrase that explains the oneness of the God in the best way is shaped. La ilaha illa Allah. There is no other gods but Allah. In other words, it means there is no other gods except Allah. Here, we also understand the importance of evolution in language, which is a part of cognitive evolution. Evolution in mind. Muhammad discovers his faith through this language, Arabic, like I discovered through Turkish. And Muhammad reached the potential of being the prophet of all nations, of all languages, of all cultures through this language, Arabic. As you see, my first language is not Arabic. The language of my body is not Arabic. So Muhammad deserves being the Messiah in real, but he wasn't led to do. He becomes our prophet and Lord because of his language. No other languages deserves to be the most modest language when it is about Islam. Arabic becomes the best language for Islam. Yes, I pursued Islam and developed my faith through Arabic as well, but I was mostly shaped by Turkish. I recognize the power or the innocence or the modestness of Arabic later. So this makes me makes other languages second, especially Turkish as second, and maybe English as the third language in terms of pursuing Islam. Today, Turkish language explains Islam even better than Arabians. So this person, I strongly think that this person, Mehdi Messiah, would be someone in Turkish culture who pursued the language well and who pursued Islam well, and who is also good at using his or her own language. Most of you might know Turkish well. I mean Turkish-speaking culture, Turkish-speaking people. Most of you might be knowing Turkish well, but you might be using your energy on other subjects. But Allah mostly cares how much you are good at speech and usage regarding Islam, regarding Sufism. No matter in which language you are in or in which nation you are, Allah waits you to use the phrases or words or usages that explains Islam or Sufism in the best and in the simplest way. I want to repeat this part. Allah waits you to use the phrases or words or usages that explains Islam in the best and in the simplest way. Thanks Allah, my English is still at the simplest level, and I hope and I also pray that you use English at the simplest level to be conceived or to convince your target groups, because you need the simplest in every language to pursue Islam, to convince yourself and others. I also would like you to use your own languages, no matter which language you are speaking now. I would like you to speak your own languages in the simplest way to pursue Islam or to convince yourself and others and to be more meaningful. I will keep talking about truths and about other prophets, especially maybe later, the next time I will be talking about Prophet Noah, the culture, the language, and the locations of Noah in another post. Thanks so much for listening me again. Bye for now.